died this year, and we're here to figure out what killed it. Hi, everybody. I'm Connor McGraw. Welcome to Phantom Zone. I'm here with Allan Muir.
You mean Twitter? The Allan Muir?
I'm sorry. The son of Twitter, Allan Muir.
At the Allan Muir.
Hunter Davenport.
Apocalypse.
And Arlen A. Harrow.
Boss Harrow has arrived.
And this episode, week since all the CW stuff is over, we figured we'd do a post-mortem on the worst show in that lineup this year, which is a weird thing to say. It was the fucking Flash.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah.
What is this?
The first two seasons were... Yeah, you know what? This is all Barry's fault.
It is Barry's fault.
Both in show and out of show. This is Barry's fault.
Yeah. Maybe we should... I mean, we've done it a couple times, but we should talk about what made Flash Season 1 and 2 work, probably.
Yes.
Again, it's a subject we talked about a lot, but it bears repeating.
It does bear repeating. It bears elaboration, too, and figure out kind of what steps preceded it, and then what steps were the wrong ones. I think Season 1 is carried by a great villain, and which is funny because that's the direct opposite of what happened in Season 3. And Season 3 is brought down by a horrendous villain.
Yeah,
Can I just mention the funny thing that happened with Twitter and Flash?
Yes, by all means.
So I started recently following Matt Lesher.
He's a great dude to follow on social media.
Yeah. So it said suggestions based on Matt Lesher, and the first one was Tom Cavanaugh. Second one was Matt Lesher's brother. And the third was the Legends of Tomorrow official Twitter account.
All fair.
It's like the whole. I didn't know there was a Legend. I follow all of them on Instagram. It's a good time, especially when Grant Gustin grows his little mustache.
Oh man, I love it when that happens.
Yeah.
Because he looks like a 19-year-old just growing facial hair.
Yeah.
Did you see his post when him and his at the time fiance said that they were asked for their ID?
They were?
Yeah, they were carded to go to see an R-rated
I mean,
movie.
man, what is he? I don't know how old Grant. He's like in his mid-20s, and he looks like he's a young boy. Like,
Yeah, he does. He looks like a little baby boy.
I know. And when he has the sunglasses mustache combo, he looks just hysterical. That and all the photos he has where like the press have snagged a photo of him are some of the best because he's never just like eating a donut or doing something mundane. He's like mid-hop, clicking his heels together or doing something else,
or singing with Tom Felton.
Yes. No, I follow them on all of them on Instagram. Yeah, back to the point. Season 1 is carried by a fantastic villain reveal, and then followed up by like a really good run with said villain. And Season 2 actually is also just that. But
except
they lucked out. They lucked out with having that trick work again.
Yeah, and I mean the consistent element is Tom Cavanaugh. Definitely throughout the whole show.
That dude is a fantastic actor.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter what you give him, it seems like he can make just about any role work. Because every time we see him, they do just give us just enough of the Hells Wells character, those characters, so that they would work. I don't know how well Hells Wells would work over a long period of time, but I mean, we loved it when it happened.
I honestly think you would get the show canceled.
Possibly, unless they really scaled him back.
Because
Referring to HR?
No, Hell's Wells.
The cowboy.
The old Western Wells.
That was a one-trick pony, no pun intended.
Yeah.
Same as Doctor Who Wells.
Yeah. Definitely.
Tom Cavanaugh's like, because I had people at work start getting into it, and like the one thing they told me is that within the first episode, the one thing that got them right away was Harrison Wells. Because they were like, without knowing what was going on, they're like, that dude is fascinating. He's also sketchy as hell.
Yeah.
They were utterly convinced. They're like, he can't be the Reverse Flash. He's in a wheelchair.
Right.
I'm like,
no, but originally people thought it was Hunter Zolomon.
Yeah, and there was
something I didn't even think about actually like when that show was running, because then like once I started digging, because like the show got me into the comic. I wasn't a Flash reader before the show started, and I gave the show a chance because people were like, "No, it's like some really good DC stuff." And I started doing like as soon as I think after the show when season 2 was starting up, that's when I kind of looked into Hunter Zolomon, and I looked back at that and went, "Oh shit!" Like that, everyone should have thought it was Hunter Zolomon.
I mean, because fucking Wells is kind of a combination of both Ebert and Hunter Zolomon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is kind of interesting if you like.
I'm wondering how long it takes for him to get inserted into the actual comics, because it worked well with Harley Quinn, and like they seem to really like they keep this character around in one way or another.
I mean, you get the feeling that they're going to very soon, because when they first released a story outline for the film, which may or may not happen in our lifetimes, as it seems to be, one of the first things people noticed is that there was a Harrison Wells character in the casting list of the people who were going to be in the movie. So clearly the character's popular enough that they're like, we have to have this character in a completely separate universe because we think it's so identifiable with the Flash at this point, which speaks volumes about the character.
Yeah. And he is a tremendous addition to the Flash lore too.
Yeah.
At another point in the production of this doomed Flash movie, Reverse Flash was listed as Dr. Earbot Dawn.
Right.
Yeah, and I believe I didn't see the Harrison Wells thing, but I did see Dr. Earbot Dawn was a guy in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who had some kind of professional jealousy, and I can't remember what it was about, but it was not the same thing, but it was very echoed.
And don't forget
from the TV
Len Snart, because Leonard is too nerdy.
Oh yeah, he was supposed to be Len Snart.
Yeah,
because that's more edgy.
I'm glad this movie is going through troubles.
Well, I'm glad it is now, because Wonder Woman is apparently fucking awesome, and hopefully this kind of steers the ship in the right direction and kind of makes them go like, all right, maybe we should just kind of, not so heavily involved with this and kind of just grab directors and let them do their thing.
Mm-hmm. What outlet was it that made that really fucking terrible, it wasn't an attack on Patty Jenkins?
You mean the "This is a Risk"
that
headline? That was a Hollywood Reporter, I want to say. It was one of the big three as far as Hollywood reporting is concerned.
That was a real asshole post type of article.
Well, I mean, okay, I guess we're going to talk about one of them in a little bit, but the problem with that is if you remove the fact that she's a woman, it's the exact same thing that has been happening at this point 3 times a year, as far as directors who have very little experience being given giant movies. It happens 3 times a year. It used to be like occasionally a Christopher Nolan would come along, and he would be given a big movie, having Insomnia and Memento and Following on his resume. 3 very small movies.
And I gotta tell you, I love Christopher Nolan. Insomnia sucks. Insomnia is not good. You watch it and go like, this dude made The Dark Knight?
Yeah.
and fucking Inception and all that shit?
Yeah.
Let's back to the Flash though. Also I think season 1 is not bogged down by what would later become the issues with the show, which is the repeating. And actually, I saw this brought up in an article that was very nitpicky, but there was one or two things that were on point. It was called 15 Worst Things About the Arrowverse. And one of them was an over-reliance on mysterious masked villains.
Yep.
And that is a huge problem. And, it's weird because Arrow did it this season, put off with flying colors. Flash does it again, and it just sucked.
Yeah, and I mean, in what was once Arrow's best season, it has been supplanted, of course. Season 2, it's a a meme with me in particular. They had the Blood character, Sebastian Blood character, and he was a masked villain as well. Slade, you already knew his identity, so it doesn't really count. But it was a reveal that he was there in the background and that he was pulling the strings in Season 2.
I think what's worth about Season 3 with Flash is they did it twice.
Yeah.
They double-dipped in this nonsense because we had Alchemy first, which we were all led to believe. There was no talk leading up to this season that Savitar was going to be the big bad. They just mentioned Savitar to be present.
Yes.
Yeah, and it changed also. The story changed.
It took a hard right. And the only inkling we got was the rival getting killed in his cell, and that was never mentioned again until the actual Savitar reveal.
Yeah.
It was the rival.
Can I just say something about Arrow seasons 2 and 4?
Mm-hmm.
They straight up used 3 of the 4 big villains for that season, or for those seasons, were basically were Teen Titans' original villains.
I mean, yeah, that's how it works. I don't know what to say to that.
If CW really had their way, Oliver would be fighting lots of big Batman bads because he is the closest thing they can get to having a Batman show. So
yeah,
he's already he fucking fought Ra's al Ghul. Come on.
Yeah, and CW's had to trick the executives into letting them do that all the way.
Yeah.
Which they've talked about a lot.
Yeah. At first we got that thing in season 2 with Moira and Malcolm.
Raz?
About the name.
Yeah, well, because they started introducing it very slowly, and they set up that Sarah's origin is that she's part of the League of Shadows, and so is Malcolm's.
And then they brought Nyssa in.
Yeah, and it just slowly builds and builds to the point where the studio can't not let them do the League of Shadows. And that's how they run all of these shows. At some point, Green Lantern's going to show up. I hope so.
I can't wait for that.
Because the Green Lantern references aren't what they were. Because in Season 1 of The Flash, if you go back, there's countless references. The finale of Season 1, or the penultimate episode of Season 1 with the chase and the truck.
They're at Fair, aren't they?
Yeah, that's where they start. And they say something about a crash and a pilot going missing. The references and the inside references, at some point they're all I hope they all mean something. I mean, I don't know how many seasons there are of all these shows cumulatively, but I hope after 10 seasons of this stuff so far, that Ted Kord does actually show up, because we've had that since the very first episode of Arrow.
Yeah.
It's right there. There's a box that says Kord Industries.
But something else I want to talk about with the issue with Season 3 of Flash is that the two big, like I said, that I mentioned the masked villain issue, which has been done to death, and what everyone is sick of, speedsters. Season 3 introduced the Rival, Savitar, Jesse Quick, and Wally West. Yep. And technically the full-on proper introduction of Jake Erik as an active character. So technically 5 speedsters were a big part of Season 3, and people are exhausted with that concept. One, you burn through all the good ones real fast. So, now at this point, what do you have to do? When you're going to bring in fucking Max Mercury and have him show up? Nobody's going to care.
I'd care.
You're a very specific kind of fan, as we. But, the average person is going to be sick and tired of seeing speedsters. Technically 6 speedsters because the Accelerator Man showed up.
Yeah. I mean,
Accelerator Man was pretty much a cameo.
I feel like there's more to it, though, because if it was a cameo, it would be kind of like a thing in the background. There was a point to show him in full costume and show he's a different color, like lightning when he runs away, and there was a whole scene with him and Gypsy on Earth, wherever the fuck.
Earth 19.
I think he's going to show up down the line.
Because I think they're gonna. I mean, as we get closer to them eventually having to do Crisis, the multiverse is gonna probably be prominent in another later season.
I also think that this is a little bit going forward, but we're going to talk about later on. I really am committed. I said it before in the show. I think we're getting the Flash Rebirth graphic novels loosely adapted, like they did to Flashpoint for Season 4. Although, speaking of Flashpoint is also a big problem in Season 3.
Yeah.
Someone, I think it was Andrew actually, brought it up on the group page that the Flashpoint done on the show. No, I think it was John. I can't remember who did. The Flashpoint done on the show. While the idea of doing Flashpoint is interesting, the way they do it is that Barry kind of gets everything he wants at the end of season 2, and then just runs back and fucks it up.
Yep.
And this is kind of that start of us saying Barry becomes less likable across season 3 because 1, he keeps doing boneheaded things, and 2, he's just very sullen and mopey and sad, and it's not fun to watch.
And they also try to make him Oliver. I mean, and it's interesting because if you go back to season 4 of Arrow, another failed season of these series, they tried to make Oliver more light, more happy, more, less Oliver, less the character that we know. And it's very clear that when they try to do that, they're not very good at it. They're very good at writing these characters as they're supposed to be, or maybe writing alternate versions of those characters. But otherwise, they can't really do a full season of Barry as sad or Oliver as trying to be happy. I can't wait till next season of Legends where they try to write Brandon Routh as grumpy or something, because that's the kind of shit that they've tried to do, and it obviously hasn't worked. And it's a big problem with this season, is that Barry isn't Barry, as far as I'm concerned, in the season. So I guess that's another thing we can look back on in season 1. Perfect characterization of most of the lead characters.
Yes.
Specifically Cisco, definitely Wells, Iris, and...
Iris doesn't find her footing as a not irritable character until about halfway through season 1 and into season 2.
Yeah, and Caitlin is background sometimes.
Because there was I talked about Arrow season 1. One of the biggest problems I have with Arrow Season 1 is that they lay on the romantic melodrama way too heavy. And Iris, for half of Season 1, is a prop to center romantic melodrama around. She's not a character. And then when she pops up and becomes naggy female, it's irritating, and 2, it's not fun to watch, because Iris is very important to Flash lore, and to relegate her to a living plot device for subplots is just not cool.
Can I say a couple things about this whole thing?
Yeah.
First, with Arrow, seasons 3 and 4, they weren't really focused on them, because with season 3, they were launching Flash. Season 4, they were launching
Legends.
Legend. They were setting up Legends.
Yeah.
And
that's true.
Stephen Amell said that he was not happy about that. That he
felt like there was less attention, right?
Yeah. 2.
I mean, less attention on the central structure of the show, like the plot, the conflict, or less attention on the romantic elements.
I think less attention on Arrow as a whole. I mean, it's like the first child getting less attention.
Okay.
Type thing, and I think that's
is
a big
bound
part
to happen
of
though when you're trying to build a little universe out of these shows, like like you said, with the Firstborn is like they're the center of the universe for a while, and then once the siblings get born, the attention can get spread, and there's going to be new favorites, and it's going to shift, and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
So that's very realistic.
Second thing, originally Rick Hosnett, who played Eddie Thawne for season 1, then 2, then 3. He was originally cast as Jay Erik.
That's interesting. I would have actually liked to see him as Barry too, because he would have fit that blonde physical role very well.
Yeah, but
interesting.
They basically stopped last minute and turned him into Eddie Thawne.
It's weird that they inadvertently turned him into the most important sub character in this first season.
And third, the 1990 to 1991 Flash TV series with John Wesley. Iris was only in 1 or 2 episodes.
Well, I mean, that show's also one of the it's like a success. I wouldn't even call it successful. It's like a slightly more successful version of that failed Justice League pilot that got out.
No,
that looks like a fucking commercial. It's just so under budgeted.
No, I mean there was going to be a second season.
Oh,
Yeah.
but no, I'm saying it like it's
They always plan on
as far
those.
as like continuity and faithfulness to the source material. It's kind of like that, where like this Justice League shit wasn't going to feature like the big three, and it had like Green Lantern was like turquoise.
Yeah.
And I think like Flash was the leader of the Justice League, and it was just weird. If anyone who doesn't know what I'm talking about, look it up on YouTube. It is hysterical. It's probably it looks more campy than Lost Corman Fantastic Four.
Mm.
But season 1, it like also has out of the 3 seasons probably like some of the best emotional impact moments.
Yeah.
Because they lessen in season 2 because it's like I said, they lucked into having that formula work a second time. One, because they incorporate into the plot, like Barry says, like I trusted somebody else and they turned on us again. He's like, we were all fooled again.
Yep.
How many times can they
that's part of the problem too. It's like how many times can you people be bamboozled by people around you?
Yeah, like at a certain point,
Like your circle of trust is very flawed if like you guys keep letting these people in who will eventually betray you.
Yep.
We all thought Julian was be that guy, like the one they bring in who totally turns on them, but like he ended up, which is one of my favorite things about season 3 is that Julian ended up being like one of the good guys, which is interesting because it's against type for Tom Felton.
Yeah, because you either have to change it up every single time, which I will give the props for that. They changed it up this time. You either need to change it up every single time, or you need to repeat it and make it so obvious that it's not a thing anymore. I bring it up a lot, but the classic MTV show Teen Wolf, every season there's a new character that shows up. Every season and every single season that character ends up being the bad guy. Every single time. So if you're planning on watching that show based on my suggestion, just understand that I have spoiled that element for you.
Arlen,
so it's either a thing that you do or that you change every single time. Yeah?
I have a question about the Scream TV series.
Correct, yeah.
Did that get canceled?
No, I don't think so.
No, it's getting rebooted.
They had there was 2 seasons.
That's an interesting thing, though, is you reboot a horror TV series. Like, are they like in series rebooting it or just rebooting it?
My understanding is that it is a hard reboot because the first 2 seasons did not work as well as people thought they did. I actually have never, so I'm aware
I watched
of that
the
show.
first few episodes and like it's not connected to the original Scream movies, but like man, it revels in being like hardcore slasher horror. It is nuts. It's kind of what you want of a Scream movie. It's like a bunch of like good-looking fucking young people who are all kind of sassy and witty are getting cut the fuck up.
Yep.
One of the leads for the show was played by the actress who played Sinro.
Yep. Yeah. Bex Taylor Klaus.
Yeah. She is gorgeous.
Yep. Also, I mean, if you're so a little Arrow trivia for you and other shows. She was on The Killing in season 3. And if you've never seen The Killing, it's a show where half of it is really good and half of it is god awful.
It's also literally the movie starring not the movie, the show starring Rick Flag.
Yeah,
that's what we're talking about. Yeah.
Season 2 is, and if you're wondering, season 2 and 4 are the terrible ones because I couldn't even finish. Couldn't get past the first episode of season 4. But she's in season 3 and she plays the exact same character as she did on Arrow.
But again, back to Flash.
Wait. But just before we back, there's The Killing and Scream are also connected in the fact that the nerdy guy from that was on Scream was in a movie with the.
Was he in RoboCop?
No.
It's interesting that your first reference is Rick Flag. My first reference is the bad RoboCop movie.
Yeah, which isn't even a bad RoboCop movie. It's just not as good as the original one.
Well, no, it's the same actor he's the guy from The Killing. He played RoboCop and Rick Flag.
Yeah.
The nerdy.
I'm just saying the first reference. The first thing you think of when you think of that actor is what I mean.
The nerdy, geeky guy from Scream? The Scream show?
Eric Foreman?
Yeah, Eric Foreman. Because he's...
he's doing an Eric Foreman impression.
He's in a movie called Premature with the girl whose murder they were trying to solve throughout The Killing.
Oh, okay. Bella Thorne.
No.
Yeah, okay, let's get back to the Flash.
This is we're
Tangents are our show, but
this is a long tangent.
Yeah, really. This is
everything I've seen that guy in. He's doing an Air Foreman. He's just playing Topher Grace. Or no,
that's his whole livelihood at this point, as far as I can tell.
But now back to Flash.
Okay.
Or we could be titled it "Fixing Flash."
How to fix the Flash? Yeah, this is like I said, it's a post-mortem episode. Like, because I know we've done little tangents on the show about what's wrong with the show, but we never had a full-length discussion on the whole season, especially as compared to the first two.
Mm-hmm.
We've covered. This is also a big problem in season 3. This is the nice one. We've covered the lengthy, drawn-out, utter slog it is to get to the reveal, which is like, what was the reveal? Episode 20?
I feel like it was either 19 or 20.
No, it was the episode they came back, so like 20.
Okay,
that is insane. And actually, looking back on that, it's insulting because we got Wells in episode 9 of The Flash. That way, we got an entire rest of the season to spend time with him and like develop him as a bad guy and like see the duality and like. Because for a while he's still there in Team Flash, like as Harrison Wells, and slowly people start to question, his motives and who he really is. But we get to hang out and see his double life he has to lead and the pressure that's on him all the time. And it makes him interesting because, one, he has to play this role, and it makes him kind of do some heroic things.
And also makes him a better person.
Yes!
Yeah. And it makes him an interesting character.
Not really in the last moments of his existence.
In the last moments, and this is what I like to think of it as, in those last moments, that's full Eobard we're seeing for the first time. He's always sort of been
because
this
the veil is off too. There's that point because the veil is off. There's no more cover. There's he has no need to put up this facade of the Harrison Wells thing. So he has no conflict. He's just there. Mm-hmm. However, his long-term goal was just to go home, which is a very relatable thing. Like he doesn't want to be in this. Like he's alien. He's an alien from not an alien from outer space, but he's in an alien time period. He doesn't want to be here. I don't imagine he had a connection to a family because Eobard's kind of sadistic, but he's displaced and doesn't want to live this life anymore.
Right.
It's the same thing with his motivation in Legends. He just doesn't want to die. It's pragmatic. It's relatable and it's simple. And then Hunter Zolomon he devolves into sinister lull bad guy towards the end.
Yeah, I like to think of him as he's the Joker, basically. He's there in his characterization, at least. And that's kind of what I liked about him. He's unpredictable.
Who are we talking about right now?
Hunter Zolomon.
Yeah. He was basically a what if for Barry.
Yeah. That's why I liked Hunter. If he just stayed that way without the episode where you see how his paralleled Barry's, but if everything went wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And granted, Barry's life is not perfect because his mother was killed, but everything after his mother being killed with Barry was he was picked up by a good family, he was taken care of, he was put in the right path. And with Hunter, his father killed his mother, which is what people thought Barry's father did.
He didn't just kill her; he shot her in the chest. With a rifle.
He went pretty far.
Yeah,
and he made Hunter watch.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's Barry witnesses his mother's death out of an unfortunate accident, and Hunter's dad makes him watch. And then instead of being put into a good home, he's put into the system, and he's bounced around from foster house to foster house to foster house to eventually he just go. I think to eventually he grows up as this broken dude who then gets superpowers. And what's the thing he's going to do? Obviously, he's going to become a supervillain.
Yeah.
Also, technically, when Barry was a kid, he didn't see his mom's murder.
True, but he got the idea.
He was there. He was in the same house.
He still went in the house and our body too. So he got to see the aftermath, which is
he saw the aftermath. He didn't see the event.
It doesn't matter. He still saw his mother dead in the kitchen floor.
Allan, ultimately he did see his mom die.
Yes, he had to see. Oh man, yeah, he did. He had to let his mom die, which is terrible. Yep. But yeah, so Zolomon is cool like that. He's not as interesting as Wells because there's no duality and kind of development for him. He just kind of it works in his favor, but he does devolve into kind of just.
Is it me or are they trying to pull an Uncle Ben thing with connection?
In what regard?
Uncle Ben's connection. Uncle Ben cannot is destined to die so Peter Parker can become Spider-Man. Nor Allen is destined to die so Barry Allen can become the Flash.
That's what I don't know if this is what it did in the comic book, but that's what the Flash book movie suggests. For sure, that Nor Allen needed to die in order for him to become the Flash.
Yeah, Nora Allen's death is the crux in which sets the entire DC universe kind of in its place, essentially. Because in time travel things, once you, like, I think it's in Doctor Who, like, once you unkill someone, like, you've unseated a lot of, potential
events. It's a
events.
fixed point in time.
Screwed up everything. Yeah,
right. Like, if they ever go back in time and explain exactly why the Doctor left, like, because there's a lot of wiggle room with the explanation as it stands, because every Doctor seems to say completely conflicting things. But if they went back and they showed the moment that caused him to leave, if somebody from the future caused that would result in the same thing. It would be a fixed point on which the entire reality of everything relies on. And Nora has sort of become that, definitely, for the Flash character and the DC universe.
Yeah, because then look what happens when he goes and fixes it. And this is where you can trace the problems of Season 3, too, and this is when he goes back and creates Flashpoint. And Flashpoint, while a cool episode, only lasts an episode, and then you don't really get to see anything interesting come out of it. You spend a little bit of time with Rich Cisco and Drunk Joe, which I didn't really want to see the second part of that too much. And then you abandon this.
You're not my partner. Reality. You don't know me. You don't know my life.
Yeah, like we abandon that and go into the standard affair.
Yeah,
I kind of wish Joe would have said, "I ain't about that."
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Hunter.
Like, another thing I have about this fucking season, everything that Barry does seems wildly characteristic.
Yeah.
They turn him into they make him senseless and reckless.
Also, what was it that Thawne said?
You're the villain now.
No, not that. You, future you, is smarter than this.
The you I know in the future is not this dumb.
Yeah.
Which also, like Ebart's supposed to be smart, but when you build like a little plot around the Flashpoint thing, and you have I guess it was supposed to be this way because it ended up working in his favor. That episode's good. Like Thawne is correct the entire episode. He's like, this is stupid. He's like, you're living in denial. This is an illusion, a dream that's not supposed to happen, and it will unravel around you.
Yeah, I still like the line. Having fun living your reverse. It's a wonderful life. Huh?
And he's like, haha, reverse.
Yeah.
I would have been so much happier if he was like, "Huh, I kill me."
God, I know it probably we would have gotten as good a season of Legend as we would have had. I know this for a fact. But imagine up until the crossover or the episode before, however many episodes that is, 7 or 8, I think, 7 or 8 episodes of just having him in that cage the whole time. And see, Barry could constantly go back and talk to him in that cage.
Wait, it's fucking Hannibal. Silence of the Lambs.
It is.
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm imagining that version of the show, and I'm like, what? Why? Why? But again, I do think it goes back to this idea that the Flash writers, as good as they are, and as well of a job as they do of characterization and of making sure to nail how to write certain elements of these stories and how to incorporate the little references that only like the Allens of the world will get. They're not great at really doing anything different over and over again. They're really good at repeating themselves and not really noticing that they're doing it. And I think that's a problem because part of what makes the first season good is it's somewhat original. But if you're me at that point, watching it every week, I'm just seeing a version of Arrow, but it's much happier for me at that time. It was still impressive to me because I was like, oh, this is a lot of what I've seen before, and they've been doing it for 2 years. But the way that they're doing it feels fresh and it feels new. So in that sense, the fact that they've fallen into this hole of just repeating themselves and not doing it in an original or innovative way that feels fresh it feels like a downward slope as far as ability.
They tried to like bust their own formula, like it blew up in their face because like look how convoluted and silly the Savitar reveal is. Because like it takes us like 2 episodes to get something that even like resembles a concrete explanation, and even then you're like, what?
Yeah,
because it all goes back to like the alchemy shit. Because we were led to believe, like I referenced before, we were led to believe that alchemy was going to be the big bad of the season, and then he's just kind of swept under the rug and like almost never mentioned again throughout the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Technically,
everything around him, and Allan even said like there's still a metahuman husk that's unaccounted for. 2, yeah, it's unaccounted for because they just dropped the whole plot. They only brought back the Philosopher's Stone in this weird like uber like this I don't know what to call it, this Deus Ex fucking Machina bullshit to have the Speed Force cannon not work, drastically changing its entire like purpose from the first half of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Because we don't even know what the Philosopher's Stone was supposed to do in the first half of the season. It was supposed to be basically giving metas their powers, wasn't it?
It was giving metas the power and allowing Savitar to use another human being as like a vessel or as a drone, basically.
Okay, so you're saying it can do that, and it's also made of calcified Speed Force? Why would calcified Speed Force give someone the ability to deteriorate matter when they touch it?
I don't know. And here's the thing. There's a version of this that works out where we could have Savitar be exactly who he still is, which is, again, this alternate reality where Flashpoint lasted for 8 episodes, or again, whatever led up to the crossover. The episode before the crossover is decompression, Barry getting everybody used to everything that's new, and then he automatically has to go into the invasion storyline, and he has to deal with that while getting everybody to trust him again, which actually would have worked better for that episode.
No, instead we got petty Cisco for a quarter of a season.
Yeah, I was gonna ask
when they make characters all of a sudden, because they did it with Wally in season 2. Wally in season 2 was insufferable for a while.
He was a
just
bit.
He was just being jerky to Barry for like no reason, and like Cisco was doing the same thing. Cisco was being irrationally angry and bitter.
Yeah, but that was a mischaracterization. That was them missing the point of Cisco. And again, like, oh, you wrote Cisco so perfectly, and you made a character who he's the kind of character that I hate. I hate obnoxious nerd characters. I just do. It's just a thing that's happened.
Hunter?
No, Hunter's his own.
How dare you?
No, I don't.
Just kidding, man.
I mean, it's obvious that I don't hate Hunter.
Well, I think the charming thing about Cisco was that he was seemingly unflappable, and like he kind of just face anything, and not really have like he'd come up with a good way to get around it, and like the whole thing with his brother. One, it elevates the problem of this season of making Barry look like a goof and kind of a selfish person, and 2, damages Cisco because like you don't want to see his face for like several episodes because he's being such a brat.
He's mugging in the middle of scenes that are otherwise great. But like having that all play out while the invasion would have actually been interesting, and having it just resolve in a way that was interesting would have been better. And then having Alchemy for the rest of the season, and just having him. But we're still building up to Savitar. And the end of the season is beat Alchemy, but suddenly this Savitar guy shows up.
Savitar would have been a fantastic season cliffhanger.
Yeah. Amazing season cliffhanger. And you could still have the exact same result.
You give yourself a break for not using a speedster for a season, and then you build up to one who is really scary.
Yeah.
Savitar, kind of before he was Barry, I thought was interesting because I'm like, one, he's physically cool looking. He's kind of terrifying because he's basically a big pointy thing. He looks like a tiny version of Michael Bay's Transformers who can run really fucking fast.
Yeah.
But then like as soon as the Barry wrinkle gets brought in, you're like, this is dreadful. One, because like I mentioned it before, I don't care how damaged this other Barry is. Him going so far as to want to kill Iris seems completely out of character.
It doesn't make sense.
And like we said, like I brought up, that fact that I don't believe that he would be scorned by everybody around him. Like, one, why wouldn't Barry want to be in 2 places at once? Like, he has this other him lying around. Like, he can be taken in. There would have been a place for him, and they make it seem like all these people just selfishly cast him aside.
Right.
Which just goes against everybody's character. But they're also assuming that Iris' death drew everybody apart. But I don't know. It's just... I mean, Iris is the the dash to save Iris too wasn't exactly thrilling because it seems like we're gonna change the future, and then they just don't.
That arc was interesting when it started, and it deflated so quickly.
Yeah.
The most interesting part of it was when Abracadabra showed up, and again, they keep
like that episode.
They keep on teasing us with better things. Abracadabra is a season-long villain. I'm in. I don't care when you do it.
Abracadabra showed him one episode that he run roughshod over that whole team just by being smarter and faster. And not faster than speed-wise. He's a quick thinker. He has lots of tools at his disposal. He's seemingly magical, but I think it's all just sciencey tricks.
Yep.
And is super crafty, and I feel like that'd be a really interesting thing to have him around instead of someone who Barry has to go into a foot race with.
Yeah, I have a question though about the whole Abracadabra episode.
Mm-hmm.
What was that blue ball he stole?
I don't remember.
It was something from Wells's vault.
Yeah,
it was like a power source. It was a power source. That's what it was.
If it was a power source, then how were Barry and Iris in the finale in a fully powered time vault?
I don't think it was the power source for the time vault. I think it was just something that Eobard had lying around.
Yeah.
It's like Reverse Flash is fucking trash.
It was specifically a time travel thing. It was how Dawn would have traveled back in time if he hadn't had Barry there to break that portal open for him. But I guess Abracadabra had the ability to repair it because he's from farther in the future. That's my understanding of it, at least. I don't remember the episode that well, but I do remember liking it more than a lot of the episodes this season.
So I think what we should do is lay out what would be a good season 4 that would work for us, because they can't repeat this pattern again. It absolutely can't happen. And now that we have seemingly Barry gone for probably half the season, although if I know these writers well, they'll be gone for a single episode. To have Wally be front and center is going to be interesting because, one, he's kind of untested as far as being a leading man goes, as far as I know. So you're not going to have Barry's presence, which kind of elevates the whole show. And two, what? Are they going to go right with DeVoe? Are they going to start with something else? I
think they're going to set up DeVoe very slowly. I have a couple things that I think the next season should be. For one...
Arlen, did you do what I suggested?
With the what? What did you suggest?
That you check out the Flash by Jeff Johns Volume 2, because that has DeVoe in it.
Well, I mean, when I come back to comics, if I do, yeah, probably.
Oh no, you don't have to. You can. It's.
I know, but I'm still in this mode where I'm not sure if I want to read comics at all. So we'll see.
If not, Connor can explain it.
Yeah, but so I got a couple things. One, and this is really a CW wide thing. So Arrow, stop. Supergirl, stop. Legends is kind of already walking away from this. Stop doing Monster of the Week. Stop.
Yeah, and Season 3 gave us some of the worst.
Shade.
I mean, really.
Shade is an abysmal bad guy.
Yeah.
Which is really sad because, I just read, there was a Shade issue in the new Flash run that was interesting because, you got to go to where Shade lives, this weird shadow dimension where, he's lost control of the darkness and, the shadows are overtaking his own realm. And in this episode, we got... I don't even remember what the fucker looked like outside of his big shadow form.
They
never show him.
He was literally he was a dude.
He was a generic white guy.
Yeah.
He was the guy. I don't even remember what he looks like. I don't remember his face.
And then he's beaten in minimal effort. He's beaten with minimal effort, never brought up again. The rest of the episode is devoted to something else entirely.
Remember
he's not as bad as the monster, the
tar pit?
Well, that thing's worse because it wasn't even real.
Yeah, the kaiju,
yeah.
which pissed me off at the time, and it still pisses me off now.
The only good part about that episode is when Joe is talking down Julian from shooting that kid. The only good part of that episode.
Yeah.
Do you guys
Can we talk about the monster for a minute here?
Wait.
Let's talk about the monster.
Wait.
Because, okay, so that fucking episode made me so angry.
It was anti-bullying, bro.
I mean, okay.
In the worst possible way, though.
It was like, let's do a kaiju, but let's also do a positive message. It's like you can't have this level of schlock and then try to back it up with some heart. Like, that only works in certain situations. And, like, this one, like, you can't, like, it's almost a blessing in disguise that the monster wasn't real, because you can't suddenly introduce, like, giant physical beasts into this world, because, like, Barry's the fastest man alive. What the fuck is he going to do against Godzilla?
I mean, yeah, I guess. I would have been fine if it was just, like, some weird Lovecraftian portal opened up and a thing came out.
Fucking, like, Cthulhu crawled out. And, like,
I would have been fine with it, because I'm fine with it. I'm fine with weird things happening and us never explaining them again. You just have to do it right. Like,
I mean, we still don't know King Shark's origin on Flash. He just kind of appeared.
Maybe I have a couple theories. I like to think that he was boxing a shark. The night of the article
in the first ever underwater shark boxing match.
Yep.
Hey everybody, sorry, technical difficulties. Back to us talking about King Shark and the underwater shark boxing match that apparently must have been going on while the metahuman fucking wave hit them at the same time, which I guess fused them. Well, whatever, we don't know how that fucking shit works.
What I was going to say before everything went wrong, tech-wise. In King Shark's Return episode in season 2, when Wally called Barry, called up or thought that Barry was said something about Barry hiding under his bed after Sharknado happens, or Joe says we have Sharknado insurance or something, something like that.
Yeah, that sounds right.
The episode ended with the guy, or King Shark, being sent to be analyzed by the original the person who became King Shark, his doppelganger's wife. His Earth 1 doppelganger.
Oh, all right.
And
yeah.
They then apparently just dropped that. They dropped that too.
Well, they dropped a lot of things.
Yep.
Like the whole first half of season 3, which Arlen has theorized was probably an entirely different show than we got if there wasn't some weird rewrites. And this hasn't been confirmed by anyone, but it's probably a good theory to kind of hang on.
Well, yeah. Also another thing I was going to say. There are those, if they haven't completely dropped the Husk storyline, those two characters could show up in season 4, and I think it was during when it was the mid-season finale. Wait, what scene was it with Alchemy where he was like, I'm going to restore all the metas from Flashpoint their powers?
That was early in the season. I can't remember when that was.
Yeah, that was pretty early on.
Because that was the whole arc for Alchemy. And
yeah.
And in the video I put in I think it was either in the Turtles group or the Pod group, the teaser from Kreisberg and Berlanti.
I didn't watch it yet. But I mean, I would kind of like to see those, whatever those husks are. Like, I would kind of like to see them become a big part of season 4. But then we got to discuss the villain issue with season 4. Like,
yeah,
how do you go forward with this? Yeah, go ahead. I didn't think we were done.
Every every season of the Flash at the season finale or something, they set up something that will be the source of the enemies or the villains for the next season.
Yeah.
They did that with the Speed Force Storm.
They kind of do.
I mean, if we get a city full of speedsters, I'm gonna be pissed.
Oh no, not speedsters.
What else would come out of that? Like metas?
Basically.
That wouldn't make any sense because a Speed Force Storm would, like, especially established like in the comics, like a Speed Force Storm creates speedsters.
Yeah, within the rules that they've already set up. I mean, they already broke the rule about the Speed Force being hell, but continuing to break the rules would not make us happy.
But yeah, like villain for season 4, I don't know. It's how do you go forward with something that's interesting, especially when you burned up all your interesting speedsters.
Oh,
and
wait, one last thing. In Steve Jobs fashion, one more thing.
Okay.
In the 3 seasons of the Flash show, they've used 31 villains over bad guys over 3 seasons.
That's actually a staggering stat. Like that's.
Why do you think
hence my suggestion of no more Monster of the Week.
Holy shit!
Why do you think they've been recycling? They recycle certain enemies like
Oh
Rod,
I mean,
King Shark.
Yeah. Well, it's because those are the main
top
characters. Yeah.
See, and that's the problem with Mirror Master being a villain of the week. Like he has potential to be a big bad, and like he's had 2 appearances, and one of them has been good.
He's been recurring.
They shipped off Heatwave. They killed Snart.
Yeah.
So unless they come up with a different version of the Rogues for season 4, like you don't have a whole lot of options at the moment.
Yeah.
So
you already burned through Alchemy, and you showed how useless that was.
I need some reference for the after. Should I spoil what happens to what they did to King Shark in the episode?
Yeah, who cares? We've been done for a while.
King Shark's arm gets separated from his body.
Yeah.
And what does Barry run Snart back to the Wave Rider?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I missed that part.
Yeah, he says there are no strings on me because he continues to copy Age of Ultron. It's like use that joke multiple times.
He's allowed.
Is he pulling? Yeah. Is he pulling a 10th Doctor from Day of the Doctor?
Yeah, kind of.
Where it's like we need someplace better because I don't want to go. And 11 saying he says that every time.
Yeah, I liked it better when they did it in Day of the Doctor, but it is the same kind of thing.
Again, the Flash and Legends or Kreisberg and Co. Berlanti and Co. copying Doctor Who.
That's another thing, I guess.
If you're going to do a time travel show, like you got it, I mean, there's one place that people are going to look.
Yeah,
and it's Doctor Who.
Yeah, I mean it's the I don't want to say standard bearer, but it's been around the longest and has covered that subject.
And also it's the reason why, and because they're fans of Doctor Who, it's the reason why Alex Kingston was on Arrow.
Yeah.
Why Barrowman was on.
A third of their casting is whoever's there in Vancouver. Another third is Doctor Who actors, and an entire other third is Australians.
Yeah.
That seems to be their entire casting process.
Actually, for CW, it's New Zealanders.
Yeah.
For Archie, for Liv and Archie.
Well, I guess it's just it's a Hollywood thing in general to get New Zealanders and Australians.
Yep, just like the Hemsworth brothers.
Yep. I think we were talking about what we thought season 4 should be. So this DeVoe character,
the Thinker.
I don't want us to meet him until fairly late in the season.
I think it's a blessing in disguise that we were already told who his identity's been revealed. DeVoe, that's his name. There's no pretense unless, oh my god, if they have him show up under some different name and have him pull the curtain back and be like, haha, 'tis I, DeVoe, the whole time. I just roll my fucking eyes.
Yeah, they could do. They could.
He's one of the husks. Is
no,
that
not that.
I think he is one of the husks. Just for that's my
That would be
100%
a nice resume of that plot, but I would not put it past them to make some sort of anagram of DeVoe.
Yeah, I could see that, but even if it's... So here's the thing, a character wanting to join them and becoming friends with them and revealing himself to be a bad guy, that's inherently not a bad plot line, because it's worked multiple times on us. It worked in Flash Season 1 and 2. It worked in Arrow Season 2. It worked in this season of Arrow.
I mean, we all thought that Vigilante was Adrian Chase.
Yeah.
Because it made more sense.
And because the comics have told us so. We assumed that they were going to...
Who was the one who wanted to join Season 2 of Arrow?
Huh?
Who was the inside agent?
Oh, no, okay, so no, with that one, it's different. It's more in the flashbacks. But we assumed that Slade was a good guy, and that they weren't going to do bad guy Slade in Season 2. I didn't. If you travel back in time and talk to 2014, 2013 me, and if you asked me, is Slade going to show up and be the villain in Season 2? I would have told you, no, of course not. He's going to stay a good guy because him and Ollie are best pals.
But the opening of the pilot.
Right, well, I assumed that was the character that they had done in Season 1. The
Billy Wintergreen?
Yeah, I assumed that was just Billy Wintergreen, and they already paid that off. And that they were just... That was a misdirect. And they were going to do a different thing with Slade, which is completely fine. If what you're already doing makes more sense than making that character into a villain, fine. But they did a really good job in Season 2. If you go back and rewatch it, if you go back, by the time he does show up, and he is revealed to have been the secret villain that's been behind everything, you don't care, because he's so interesting.
Yeah, that's what happened with Chase. Chase is so interesting on just like as he is. Like he did but once he's finally revealed, like he doesn't even need the fucking Prometheus get up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Also,
he doesn't even need it.
How did he sound like
Michael Dorn?
It's a voice changer. They explain this in the Scream TV show, which is part of the CW universe. But no, it's a voice changer. You can get those.
Fine.
I do like how this network seems to bring in like old cult actors or like niche actors to do voices and stuff like that. Like they got Tony Todd.
Explain that one for Hunter Zolomon.
That's the Philosopher's Stone.
For Hunter Zolomon, that's just the way Barry conceals his voice. It's a different method of doing it. Like
no.
It's whatever.
I'm talking about the scene where his eyes turned black.
That's something that I still don't understand. Why?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense either.
It really doesn't.
And did you guys see the meme at the time where they were comparing that with when Supernatural is doing a similar thing?
It's the exact same effect. It's a reused effect from Supernatural.
I think they got notable horror actors for Savitar and Hunter Zolomon or Zoom. I thought was really cool because Tobin Bell, for those who don't know, if you recognize that voice from Savitar, that's because he is Jigsaw from the Saw series. He is Jonathan Kramer. Tony Todd played Candyman. So, I mean, I hope they continue doing that. I mean, with Supergirl, they have so many cameos, it's insane. It's hard to keep up with.
I liked when they referenced Candyman on Riverdale. It was nice.
Mm-hmm.
A nice in-network callback.
But back to, we're tangents abound this episode, but Flash Season 4, do you do a rogue season? Do you even have any rogues at this point that are worth uniting and making strong?
I mean, there are rogues there. I think that's what you do, actually.
There's still Golden Glider. There's still Weather Wizard. There's still Trickster.
Where the fuck is Weather Wizard?
He's there. He exists still, as far as we know. Here's the thing. Don't have DeVoe be in the forefront in this first... I'm going to go in thirds. In the first third of this season, Barry isn't there. He doesn't come back. He's not back until, again, an episode, 2 episodes before the next crossover, which will be freaking insane if, as I predict, Black Lightning's first few episodes won't be as good as CW's expecting, so they suddenly announced, we're going back on what we said, and Black Lightning is now in the Supergirl-verse. It's going to happen. Trust me. I've been right before.
And by Black Lightning, you mean super buff Jordan Peele.
Yeah. That's who he is, obviously. Jordan Peele traveled back in time and became the guy who was in the show about the White House. I don't remember the name of it. Yeah. So, but DeVoe...
Oh, you mean he became Julie Hill?
Yeah. Maybe DeVoe is uniting the Rogues against Wally. Because there's a new Flash.
Which is interesting, because Wally is not used to being the lead.
Yeah.
He's not used to being the Flash, like the only one. So if you have a bunch of enemies unite against him, he would obviously feel overwhelmed.
Yeah. And it
would make for a good time where it's like Wally's trying to find his footing as like as a loner superhero who's getting his ass handed to him by these United villains. Because we haven't seen United villains yet. The only time that we got the chance to do it was in season 1. They all turned each other real fast. One of them died, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Captain Cold killed Doug Jones. He shot the cold gun at his face and just destroyed it.
I work for Dick Jones.
Yeah.
There were in season.
Bitches lead.
God damn it, Hunter.
Sorry.
In season 2, there was the team up sort of between Trickster and Weather Wizard, and that's
what you want to call it.
And for a brief period, Captain Cold, and then there was also that duo with the two Tricksters in season 1.
Well, I mean, the second Trickster. What is his follow up to that? I can't remember what he says.
I don't remember.
Fantastic.
It was something good because Mark Hamill's a great actor.
Yep.
That's how I sold my friend George on watching the whole season. I told him about the Trickster sequence, and he was like, I'm so on board with the show, it's not even funny.
Yeah. That's another... So I think there's a general levity with some of the villains that we didn't get. Like Trickster, every scene he was in Season 2, he just brightened the room. And I understand why he might not have been able to show up this season.
That's why I think using him in Season 4 is going to be difficult, because like Star Wars is ongoing, and I'm pretty sure Mark Hamill is not going anywhere in Episode 8. Pretty sure.
Right.
I don't know. Could be wrong.
Like, they're lucky if they get him for one episode in the next 2 years.
Like, that Disney ball and chain is around his ankle.
Also, for this season, they only got him for a couple minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Because he's a busy man. Like,
and he looked like the Penguin.
Yeah. Well, everybody thought he was the Joker. Which to me was the stupidest.
What was his line after the like, it was something involved shooting?
Yeah, I think so. It was something like that. But he was just like the Trickster.
I told them that if they didn't do anything, I wouldn't shoot them. But I think he says like them.
Yeah, he says like, I told them if they cooperated, I wouldn't kill them, but I tricked them, and then he fucking has a laugh.
Yeah, I love Mark.
I love his little meltdown afterwards. He's like, I'm seeing double.
and soon I'll own that Kittle helmet.
Own that Kittle helmet. I'll put it on my fireplace. But I would like to see a Rogue season. Although I'm going to almost be disappointed if this doesn't happen. If Barry doesn't come back because of Thawne, which I think is a good time to bring him back to the Flash fold anyway.
Yeah,
I'm kind of upset because like the opportunities here, like you had him go into Speed Force, you're primed and ready for the return of Barry Allen. Like that's what's going to happen. I think his return will be during, like you said, before the crossover, and he'll pop out of the Speed Force and do some big assist. But I think, and then actually Screen Rant, of all places, was the one who brought this theory up. Like, what if you turn Barry into an unwilling antagonist by the tail end, because they made a point where you could have done the entire Savitar Killer Frost thing at the end of the season without having to kill Black Flash.
Yeah.
So there's no Black Flash now. They're theorizing that just like Flash Rebirth, Barry will come out of the Speed Force, and Thawne will have basically used the negative Speed Force on him and turned him into the new Black Flash.
Interesting.
Which is interesting because in the comics it happens real fast. Like I think he touches Savitar and I believe Max Mercury and kills them both instantly. I don't
remember Max Mercury dying.
It's somebody else in there. I can't remember who it is. It's either Johnny Quick or Max Mercury. I can't remember which one it is. But he kills two speedsters, one heroic and Savitar. And then the rest of the issue takes place in the Speed Force with Barry and Eobard having this like insane conversation about how like Eobard is the architect of all things that. What is the Blowfield line from Bond?
Architect of all your pain.
Yeah, and that's where we get the dynamite drop in of like it was me, Barry. I killed your mother, Barry. But that's already done and over with. So I think we get
because you fucking killed it.
I have not. In fact, my meme page apparently still gets likes.
Because I'm telling people about it.
God
damn you. Oh, your fault.
Damn you, Twitter's Allan Mir.
I think this is where we get Thawne's return. It works at this point because we've already said Thawne is the only speedster who's allowed to come back because he carries with him too much weight and too many good stories. That and he's like the Joker. Like you can't dispose of the Joker without really kind of ending the whole thing. Like Reverse Flash is Barry's forever nemesis, and there's still a lot to tell with them.
Yeah, it'd be interesting.
Also,
I don't want him as a
Reverse Flash cheated god.
Yeah,
we were talking about that when the recording thing messed up. Like Eobard Thawne is provably unkillable.
Yeah.
So continue, Arlen.
I don't know if I want him as a season-long villain again, or even a big bad.
I want him at the tail end. I want him to be the reason Barry comes back. More of a utility villain, not the villain.
Right.
And you can set him up for season 5 if you wanted to, where it's like, Reverse Flash is back again. It's all starting over. Like it could be like a nightmare situation for Barry, where it's like they kind of got rid of him and they got rid of him again, and like the idea of him coming back and causing him more pain would be like, so far to Barry's head because like, I mean that one thing Savitar says, like Eddie shot himself in the chest and Thawne's still running around somewhere because you can't dispose of him.
Yeah, I just thought of something. What if DeVoe is the reason Thawne is able to come back?
That would be interesting.
And like the team up, I'm in.
And look what happens when you team up Eobard Thawne with other villains. You get the greatness of Legends of Tomorrow season 2.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they got to do that because they'll bring back Thawne. They will bring back Thawne next season at some point. There's no way for them not to. I think his contract might be, you have to put me on one of these shows a season.
They said he was a series regular, I believe.
Yeah.
So he's going to be back at some point.
Yeah. That'll be interesting. Season 4, though, could go a lot of different ways. Again, no Monster of the Week. Do something more like Hannibal. Hannibal, when it got at its best, you would have a villain or a new serial killer walking around just taking people out for like 3 episodes at a time. And that's when I think the show was at its best.
I think if they do several, like, I wouldn't say 2-parters is what they call because that's like event episodes, but several episodes where you're dealing with one thing at a time over the course of 3 to 4 episodes would be a much more welcome change in pattern because this is, like, one, like we brought up Shade, like, these villains just become so disposable. Like, there's no tension because we know they're not a threat. We know they're going to be dealt with in some kind of weird, genius way. So we don't like, especially Shade. I can't remember how they beat him. It was just they just boom, gone.
Yeah.
And that cyborg lady from the crossover is still like the worst thing ever.
The cyborg lady is.
Was I dreaming, or did they add someone to the right, like as a regular cast member?
For what?
For Flash
what show? I don't know if there was a
recent announcement.
Like
I don't remember any.
I want
to
say. The actress who plays Gypsy.
Oh, that wouldn't be surprising.
Yeah, if they announced her as a regular.
Something Camacho.
It might be. I mean, that would make sense because of Cisco, and it seems like they are pushing him as vibe.
I know that Maggie, the actress who plays Maggie Sawyer in Supergirl, is leaving.
Okay, well, this is a very timely time for me to find this article. Flash Season 4 villain confirmed. So as soon as this loads, we'll have Screen Rant. Your autoplay videos are the devil.
Same goes to IGN.
Stop trying to tell me what I'm about to read.
And comicbook.com.
No, don't you dare. There we go. All right. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, my God, I didn't turn it off. Oh, I'm deaf. Okay, in the wake of the Flash season's finale, TV Line reports that Scarlet Speedster will indeed be taking a face-off off against Clifford DeVoe, a.k.a. the Thinker, next season. CW has yet to confirm the news. They do not for some time. It seems obvious, though, the character will be the villain. Okay, so this isn't a flat-out confirmation. This is, like, basically trying to go off previous evidence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Interesting.
Also, they like I said before, they just can't do the way he looks because it's actually worse than comic book Savitar.
Ugh.
Like he has.
I mean, he looks like
looks
like old school Riddler, but with like
oh my
ones and zeros.
God, Hunter, have you looked this up yet?
What's that?
Look up Clifford DeVoe on Google image search.
Yeah,
This is I would almost be disappointed they didn't use this design. This is hysterical looking.
I think they'll do.
Oh.
I think they'll.
yeah.
That's the best reaction.
Oh my God!
Oh.
He's wearing a fucking performance mask over. Look at the binary print. Oh my
What?
God!
So good.
Am I looking at?
I'm
This
actually
is
talking about.
so
That's
wonderfully terrible.
That's not even the one I'm talking about.
Which one?
You're talking about the fucking
Are you
cat
talking-
mask, like
Are you talking about the
motherfucker?
purple one?
The purple one?
No.
Oh my God! He looks like Sinestro if he wore a big
Okay.
fucking fishbowl on his head.
If they don't do the purple one, oh God.
The one where it looks like he has,
All that crap in his head?
on the things, the rods on his face.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty cool design. That's pretty freaky looking.
Yeah.
It looks like a pinhead design with like electrodes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
that's
kind of like
the
a Brainiac thing almost.
Yeah.
I would. Here's the thing: if they do that, that would be cool. But I do want them to go with this. Connor will get this. This Job design.
Oh man, I think because of this podcast, that movie refuses to die.
Yep.
Apparently, it just got a new Blu-ray release. So I don't know how that happened. I don't know who allowed that.
What?
A Lawnmower Man got a new fucking Blu-ray release. Like who was sitting back going like, you know what I need tomorrow? I need Lawnmower Man on Blu-ray.
Speaking of Job,
Where is
when
it
are we going to do a movie special on Jonah Hex?
I mean, here's the thing. This is kind of an off-mic conversation, but if you want to suggest a movie, Allan, just tell me, this is when I want to do movie X, and this is the year, and this is the month I would like to do it. And I'll put it down in the notes, and we can either vote on it then, or vote on it later.
Yeah,
Make sense?
Let's
Okay.
start to wrap because this has been going on for a long time.
Yeah.
And we have been derailed many times. But basically, season 3 was more or less dead on arrival. We just didn't know it until it was over. Because when you digest the entire thing, now that it's been done, it's full of fucking holes and missteps and bad misdirects and bad villains.
Mm-hmm.
Savitar is so weak at the end of the day, it's insulting. And that's why I said we should do this season as a postmortem, because the Savitar reveal, 1, is insulting.
Yeah, it is.
It's so obvious that I guess it's so obvious, it obviated like suspicion. And we all were like, it's Barry. And then they tried that fake out with implying it might be Ronnie. And then it being Barry is like the most anticlimactic way it could have gone around.
Mm-hmm.
There were two out of 3 consecutive good episodes in Duet and Once a Future Flash.
Well, yeah.
I mean, yeah, there are good episodes in a lot of bad seasons of TV. I mean, we had this conversation in the Phantom Zone group. There are 5 or 7 episodes of Arrow season 4 and 3 that are good. There are good episodes in there that are worth watching.
But if you throw a diamond into a pile of shit, you don't have a pile of diamonds, you have a pile of shit.
Right.
With a diamond in it.
Yeah. It's just like, ugh. Like, if you ask a TV writer, the classic line about, how a TV season should work out is you'll have 7 episodes that are gold. Like 7 great all-timers that everybody is going to remember. You'll have 7 episodes that are, nobody's going to remember them.
And Flash season 1 has that. Flash season 1 has the fucking B episode.
Yeah. It has the B episode where Ray shows up from Arrow, and it's fine. Nobody's going to remember it.
Stupid as fuck, but it's fine.
It sets up one of the worst episodes of Arrow ever.
Yeah.
So that's why I remember it. because oh my god, when the bee lady returns, it is the worst.
She basically, she somehow became. She got into the same accident Felicity had.
Yeah, and it's.
And she needed a whatever chip she has.
We need to do one-off episodes where we go into the vaults of these shows, and we pick like either the worst or the best. And this is my pick for the worst episode in this entire universe's history. It's the second appearance of the Bee Lady, played by not Maggie, but her sister from The Walking Dead.
Bug-Eyed Bandit.
Okay.
And it is the worst. It's the worst. There isn't an episode in Flash or Arrow that is worse.
You can't get any more like 1950s like Z-level terrible sci-fi Mystery Science Theater trite than a villain who controls robot bees.
It's really bad.
It's really bad.
So bad.
Also, Bug-Eyed Bandit was an Adam villain.
I mean, I guess it makes sense that Adam was there in her first appearance.
Yeah. But no,
also,
go ahead.
The character is they did what they did with Top this season.
Yeah.
But
Top actually worked. So
no, I mean, they were originally
they gender swapped her.
Yeah.
Yeah. It works for Top though in this case because I think Top in the comics looks ridiculous. He looks like the Riddler in just purple and green stripes.
Yeah.
He looks like one of the Hydra goons from Deadpool.
Yeah.
He looks like Bob. Like
I still can't believe they snuck Bob in.
But no, Flash season 3. I heard a comic once say that a comedian once say that like if someone gives you a sandwich and it's 97% shit and 3% ham, would you be willing to call that a ham sandwich? No, it's a shit sandwich.
Yeah.
And like Flash season 3 has some bright spots here and there, but overall it's a mess.
It's a real mess. It's a real fucking mess. And it's on Netflix right now.
Yes, it is.
I mean, if you have been listening to all these episodes, but you haven't actually been watching the shows,
I mean, if you don't want to take our word for it immediately, because I mean, subjective opinions. But like, if you don't want to take our word for it, go watch it and see for yourself. Like, you may end up liking it, but you may end up agreeing with us. Like, it's, and even Ed was catching up, and he was like, "This is ridiculous."
Yeah.
And Ed's great. Ed has similar taste than we do, but he also has kind of different taste than we do.
Yeah, his taste is very different, and I actually like that it's different.
Yes, no, he's the welcome dissenting voice among a group. Sometimes we were like, that makes sense. And even he was like, "This is." I think he got to the Savitar reveal, and he was like, "This is stupid."
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it is. It's
really
lazy.
Dumb.
It's lazy too. But I think we can wrap because this has been going on for a long fucking time, and it's probably really late when you guys are.
We've been doing this for 2 hours.
Yes, that's including a hiccup in recording. So, hey,
also waiting for.
Oh boy.
Also, it was us waiting for Hunter.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that too.
Wow.
So it's like 3 hours.
Fucking
then.
shade thrown.
Fuck you guys.
For those that don't know, Hunter fell asleep for an hour before we were supposed to record, and someone may or may not have sent him a picture of a penis.
Yeah.
just to troll him to wake his ass up. He also troll his social media accounts, and we all sent him text messages.
Yeah.
The problem is now he has my phone number, and I'm probably going to end up paying for this. Yeah, you stay silent over there. All right, hey, this has been the Phantom Zone. I'm Connor McGraw. You can follow me at Twitter at Wesker Commander. I'm trying to change that, but I don't know how.
You have to do it on desktop.
Yeah.
You can't do it on mobile.
That sucks.
Yeah. It really blows. You can follow me at AAHaro on Twitter. Get all my thoughts on my stuff and all that. It's real crazy over there. You just see one tweet at a time. But yeah, go there.
Arlen never has one thought. It's several thoughts split. It's one thought split up into 18 different updates.
Yep.
But we ultimately enjoy it.
Yeah. It's fantastic because you're just like, see, it's almost like he's having a conversation with himself.
It kind of is.
Hunter?
What are we doing?
Plugs.
We're closing. So you can go to bed.
I'm at Davenport on Twitter.
M on Twitter. Follow Davenport.
You can find me writing on the Haro. What else? Video Game Hour comes out every week.
Yep.
Yes, and for me, keep an eye out for the Movie Dump, Episode 1, coming out soon, where we watched Rawhead Rex. It was a good time. So I listened to the rough cut. It's very funny shit.
Mm-hmm.
And that is it. Well,
wait, you forgot me. Twitter's
Twitter's
Allan Muir.
Twitter's Allan Muir.
It's
God
at
damn
the Allan Muir.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow. We're sorry, Your Grace.
Jeez. Regular Joffrey up in here.
Jesus. This has been the Fan
Bye.
Zone. Bye. Fuck X with Apocalypse.